Astronomy, the study of stars and space. Astronomer, a person who studies space. Cosmos, the whole ordered space system. Universe, all space and everything in it. Space, the vast area beyond Earth. Celestial, related to the sky or space. Astronomical, related to stars and space. Cosmic, related to the universe. Observation, watching carefully to learn. Phenomenon, an event or thing that happens. Radiation, energy that travels in waves. Gravity, the force that pulls things together. Orbit, the path an object follows in space. Eclipse, when one space object blocks another. Transit, when an object passes across another. Alignment, objects lined up in space. Magnitude, how bright a space object looks. Luminosity, how much light an object gives off. Star, a huge glowing ball of gas. Galaxy, a giant group of stars. Nebula, a cloud of gas and dust in space. Cluster, a group of stars close together. Constellation, a pattern of stars in the sky. Supernova, a powerful star explosion. Pulsar, a spinning star that sends out beams. Quasar, a very bright center of a distant galaxy. Magnetar, a star with a very strong magnetic field. Dwarf, a small star or space object. Giant, a very large star. Hypergiant, an extremely huge and bright star. Core, the central part of a space object. Halo, a faint glow around a space object. Filament, a long thin structure in space. Void, a large empty region in space. Singularity, a point where gravity becomes extreme. Planet, a large object that orbits a star. Moon, a natural object that orbits a planet. Asteroid, a small rocky object in space. Comet, an icy object with a glowing tail. Meteor, a space rock burning in the sky. Meteorite, a space rock that reaches the ground. Meteoroid, a small space rock before it enters the sky. Exoplanet, a planet outside our solar system. Orbit, the path an object follows in space. Perihelion, the closest point to the Sun. Aphelion, the farthest point from the Sun. Perigee, the closest point to Earth. Apogee, the farthest point from Earth. Equator, an imaginary line around the middle. Axis, an imaginary line an object spins around. Rotation, the spinning of an object. Revolution, the movement around another object. Inclination, the tilt of an orbit or axis. Exploration, traveling to learn about new places. Mission, a planned task or journey in space. Launch, sending a spacecraft into space. Landing, coming down safely onto a surface. Liftoff, the moment a rocket leaves the ground. Deployment, releasing equipment to start its work. Rendezvous, meeting another spacecraft in space. Docking, joining two spacecraft together. Re-entry, returning from space into the atmosphere. Descent, moving downward toward a surface. Ascent, moving upward away from a surface. Flyby, passing near an object without landing. Sample. A small piece collected for study. Retrieval. Bringing something back safely. Telemetry. Data sent from a spacecraft. Navigation. Finding and following the right path. Communication. Sending and receiving information. Countdown. Counting backward before launch. Rocket. A vehicle that pushes itself into space. Spacecraft. A vehicle made to travel in space. Satellite. An object that orbits a planet. Probe. A spacecraft sent to study space. Rover. A robot vehicle that moves on a planet. Lander. A spacecraft that lands on a surface. Orbiter. A spacecraft that circles a planet or moon. Capsule. A small spacecraft for people or cargo. Module. One separate part of a spacecraft. Booster. A rocket part that adds extra power. Stage. A rocket section used during flight. Nozzle. The opening where rocket gases come out. Thruster. A small engine that changes direction. Engine. A machine that makes power for movement. Fuel. Material burned to make energy. Propellant. Material that pushes a rocket forward. Payload. The cargo carried by a rocket. Fairing. A cover that protects the payload. Astronaut. A person trained to travel in space. Cosmonaut. A Russian astronaut trained for space travel. Crew. The people working together on a spacecraft. Commander. The leader of a space mission. Pilot. A person who controls a spacecraft. Engineer. A person who designs or fixes machines. Scientist. A person who studies and tests ideas. Specialist. A person with special knowledge or skill. Training. Practice to learn a skill. Simulation. A practice copy of a real event. Suit. Special clothing worn for protection. Helmet. A hard cover that protects the head. Habitat. A living place made for people in space. Station. A large spacecraft where people live and work. Module. One separate part of a space station. Exercise. Body movement to stay strong and healthy. Nutrition. Food and nutrients needed for health. Isolation. Being separated from other people or places. Vacuum. A space with almost no air or matter. Microgravity. Very weak gravity felt in space. Radiation. Energy that travels in waves or particles. Magnetosphere. A magnetic shield around a planet. Atmosphere. The layer of gases around a planet. Ionosphere. An upper atmosphere layer with charged particles. Heliosphere. The sun's protective bubble in space. Plasma. Hot charged gas found in space. Particle. A tiny piece of matter. Photon. A tiny packet of light energy. Neutrino. A tiny particle that passes through matter. Wavelength. The distance between two wave peaks. Spectrum. A range of light or energy. Redshift. Light stretched toward red wavelengths. Blue shift. Light squeezed toward blue wavelengths. Relativity. How space, time, and motion connect. Spacetime. Space and time join together. Entropy. A measure of disorder or spreading energy. Telescope. A tool used to see far objects in space. Observatory. A place where people study the sky. Detector. A device that finds signals or energy. Sensor. A device that notices changes or data. Camera. A device that takes pictures. Lens. A curved glass piece that focuses light. Mirror. A surface that reflects light. Antenna. A device that sends or receives signals. Spectrometer. A tool that measures light colors. Interferometer. A tool that combines waves to measure details. Coronagraph. A tool that blocks a star's bright light. Photometer. A tool that measures light brightness. Radiometer. A tool that measures radiation energy. Gyroscope. A device that helps track direction. Altimeter. A tool that measures height above a surface. Magnetometer. A tool that measures magnetic fields. Seismometer. A tool that measures ground shaking. Calibration. Adjusting a tool to measure correctly. Data. Facts or numbers collected for study. Dataset. A group of related data. Analysis. Studying data to find meaning. Modeling. Making a simple copy to study something. Simulation. A practice model of a real event. Algorithm. Step-by-step instructions to solve a problem. Computation. Using math or computers to solve problems. Imaging. Making pictures from collected signals. Mapping. Making a map of a place or object. Tracking. Following an object's position or movement. Guidance. Helping a spacecraft follow the right path. Control. Managing how a spacecraft moves or works. Automation. Using machines to do tasks by themselves. Robotics. The study and use of robots. Autonomy. The ability to work without human control. Propulsion. The force that pushes something forward. Aerodynamics. How air moves around objects. Engineering. Designing and building useful machines or systems. Colonization. Building a new community in space. Settlement. A place where people live in space. Terraforming. Changing a planet to support life. Habitation. Living in a place for a long time. Mining. Digging or collecting useful materials. Resource. A useful material or supply. Extraction. Taking useful materials from a place. Sustainability. Using resources without wasting them. Resilience. The ability to recover from problems. Infrastructure. Basic systems needed for living or work. Commercialization. Turning an idea into a business. Tourism. Traveling to visit places for enjoyment. Investment. Money or support used to grow a project. Partnership. Working together toward a shared goal. Innovation. A new idea, method, or invention. Governance. Rules and leadership for making decisions. Regulation. Official rules that control activities. Diplomacy. Managing relationships between countries.